First off, rest in peace, neighborhood Nip. I ain't crip, but I'm on that neighborhood shoot. Building businesses that black owned. If you hustle, better hustle till your pack gone. If you work, better work till your back hurt. And if you rap, make it better than your last verse. Yeah, more lyrics. Stick and move, Javante.
AJ, El Presidente, Eddie Kane University. Hill gon' heal, regardless. You, Buchanan, Bethel High School, by way of 3-Man Weave, LLC.
Michelle, producer, Faith Overseer.
You can catch this wave from the Marlins to the Mariners. Doing things you can't believe. It's the 3-Man Weave.
Oh man, we back again.
Mm-hmm.
Is this not what we've all been waiting for?
This is normally what we've been waiting for. We normally start off with this one. So,
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, pimps, cats, dogs, and all of that. This is the AFC North divisional preview. As you know, it's about to get crazy. We're about to have some fun, though.
Yeah.
First, special guest. Let us know who we got with us.
Yo, this is Marcus here. I'm starting to become a regular now in the 3-Man Weave, man. I always feel love here. Coming here representing the Steelers. You know, I'm a very unbiased opinion, but I'm definitely going to be home team today, so we're going to talk about it. We're going to try to talk about it anyway, civilized anyway.
And my esteemed co-host. Let him know who he is, my boy.
Y'all already know who it is, your boy Hill. And he'll go Hill regardless, baby. Let's get it.
Where can they find us at, man?
You can catch us on all major podcast platforms, 3-Man Weave, Instagram, Twitter, 3-Man Weave _ You can email us at podcast.3.man.weave@gmail.com. Did you introduce yourself? Or
I did not.
We just supposed to just know you, huh?
You know, I guess I am the forgetful of the most forgetful. Old gone old regardless. Your host. Kinda. Sometimes. Sort of. Partially. AJ of the 3-Man Weave podcast. How you doing, fellas?
What's going on?
All right.
Yeah, that was great.
I just forgot to all that time. I forgot to fill my cup for this episode. We're about to do this with an empty cup. I'm mad now. I'm mad now. We got some stuff to talk about.
Well, like I said, we've been getting a lot of good reviews from our other divisions that we've done so far. So I definitely think that we're gonna have a good one tonight. This is the AFC North. And let's go ahead and get right to it. You know how we normally start off from last to first, and we're gonna take it to Cleveland. This is for you.
Is it?
All right. Where do we even start with this team? They named Joe Flacco the starter, so there's that. Like,
which we knew was going to happen.
Yeah. Especially once, Kenny Pickett went down with the hamstring too. It was like, yep, Joe. And Joe already had the upper hand. So this is like this was kind of, on course. To me, the most interesting storyline for this team, to be quite honest, is will KLC make it? I'm not KLC. Will Stefanski make it through the season?
I hate you.
I'm sorry.
That was my whole deal. My whole joint. I was keeping it under fuck. I hate you. But bro, let's stay here, man. Because at the same time, like, bro, do you really have the job security to play these games? Like, let's be honest.
No.
Are we sure he does it?
I don't think so.
Then he wouldn't have done this. He wouldn't have done this, bro.
I don't know I don't know how much he had a say in this though.
At the end of the day, the what you do on the football field speaks for itself. when you out there in practice, when you implement the game and you giving out the reps and you're doing stuff and you see what is going on, it stands out if it's a true competition. Now, you can sit there, like I said, we get it. We already knew that Flacco was going to be the starter. We knew this. They signed Flacco for a reason. Whatever they did after that is whatever they did after that. But once you seen what was going on the field, the depth chart wouldn't be the depth chart. The way they was giving out the reps wouldn't be the reps if he didn't have security, bro. He's following what he's told to do.
I get what you're saying, but also where I will disagree is sometimes that draft pedigree does matter. So sometimes you like that first rounder, you gonna get a lot more chances than that fifth rounder. And I understand, Dylan Gabriel's a third rounder and Shador is a fifth rounder. They did draft him in the third round. And I don't know I don't know why they did that, but they did. So I think that they were trying to give the third rounder all the opportunity that they could to win that job. Not win the job, just take control of that spot on the depth chart at minimum. Mm-hmm. And you also can tell they really had no clue what they was about to do because, bro, you get Joe Flacco, then you get Kenny Pickett, you draft Dylan Gabriel, and then you draft Shador. Like, to me, it don't even seem that you had a plan. We just, you introduce yourself, hey, Hill go Hill regardless. You also know what's going to happen? The Browns going Brown. Regardless. They colors ain't dookie stains for nothing. This is what the front office do.
That is true.
And Jimmy Haslam even said, hey, certain things I'm a step back on because I made the Deshaun Watson decision. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, hey, dog, it's a whole bunch of dysfunction going on right now. So asking about job security, I don't even know. I can't vouch for that because the dysfunction.
But we got to get that out the way. Like we got to understand that we are talking about the Browns. So I get it that the dysfunction is going to be number one when it comes to that aspect. But at the same time, he has to operate. He has to be following a game plan. This is, I'll speak for myself. Kevin Stefanski is a good offensive mind. Like I said, I like Kevin Stefanski as far as what he does on offense and what he does. I've been liking what he's been doing as a coach, period, in Cleveland, given some of the circumstances. Cleveland. So it's Cleveland. But at the end of the day, if it was a true competition, I get it. You only signed Kenny Pickett for to cover yourself for the draft. I get it. Kenny Pickett is Kenny Pickett. We're not really about to give him. He's already a journeyman already, and he ain't even finished his rookie contract. But that's neither here nor there. Dylan Gabriel was drafted before Shador. I get that. But has he been playing better than Shador?
Okay, if we talk like my point about the draft pedigree, then I'll let you jump in, Marcus. Has he been playing that much worse than Shador based on where each were drafted to jump him? That's all I'm gonna say.
No, but he based off pedigree. I'm gonna let you go, Mario. Based off pedigree, he deserved the next shot after whatever Joe Flacco does.
I think Dylan Gabriel, Joe's gonna be the guy, and based upon the Browns gonna have to be winless before they make a switch. God forbid Joe go out there and win 2 or 3 games and sneak one he shouldn't win, then we really gonna be having some topics of conversation. But just because of the third round to the fifth round difference, Dylan will get more chances to F up before Shador jumps him in the pecking order. And that's just the politics of the NFL. And, a lot of times it's egos come into play. Like, then you got to answer press conferences questions. Like, say, for instance, Shador jumps him tomorrow and Shador is number 2. Then, the topic is, why the hell did we draft Dylan Gabriel in the third round? We could have drafted another piece that could have helped us and stuff like that. So
Or you could just
unfortunately,
draft Shador in the third round.
third round, yeah.
And
So
we wouldn't even be here, bro.
we wouldn't be here right now. So unfortunately, due to circumstances and politics, Dylan Gabriel will really have to go out there and just stink it up bad. I mean, he got a longer leash than Shador has, unfortunately. And the saddest thing about the whole Brown situation is we haven't even talked. I haven't seen one episode of any sports show this summer, where we talked about their first round draft pick. I don't think people even knew who that first round draft pick was. Like, we haven't even talked about the big defensive tackle. Like, he was the first round draft pick, and I don't think he's ever been mentioned. Like, he was the main guy. So the Browns are going to be the Browns. I get frustrated talking about them. They piss me off. Like, just I have a very low tolerance for stupidity, and I implore anyone to make sense of what. Like, can you tell me right now what their direction is? Like,
to the training table, because they just got
back
in camp.
Can you see a clear path and direction of what the Browns are trying to do? I agree that they drafted a running back and they always going to be a running team first. But can anybody tell me what clear direction the Browns are going in?
If it was football,
2026.
No, if it was football, I could see a clear path for this team getting back to, being competitively trash.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thing. Like you said, you drafted 2 running backs. Quinshon Judkins was one of those ones that we thought, coming from the Ohio State University. But we thought but you drafted Dylan Sampson, so you knew, even though Kevin Stefanski's pedigree, you knew running the ball is one of his staples anyway. You finally got something. You finally got something out of Jerry Jeudy, something that they've been looking for in Denver. They finally got something out of him. Cedric Tillman, David Njoku. You just, once again, what they've been saying about Cleveland for so long, they were just a quarterback away, right? So you go get a. They've been looking for another outside pass rusher to go alongside Miles. Going opposite of Myles Garrett. They didn't get that, but they got a Mason Graham. They brought in Malik Collins. Saying they did some things. They had a lot of offensive issues last year. They took a chance on Tevin Jenkins. You could see the direction once they finally get off the Deshaun Watson contract, get off that exit ramp. You can actually see what they was trying to do if it was football. And that's why when AJ asked the first question, does he have the security to not make it football? Because you about to muck this up for nothing. You about to go out there, but we know what Joe's going to do, bro. At the end of the day, Joe might have had
3 downs bats.
He might have got the Browns to the playoffs. Ooh, I get it. But at the end of the day, he wasn't playing good football. They just was happy to win. You settle some down, and they happen to win. Like I said, we don't know what Dylan Gabriel is going to be. I'm already predicting that Kenny Pickett is going to get cut. And, he said the fan base is going to be too loud. So, no, a percentage of the fan base and a percentage of the media is going to be too loud to just ignore Shador.
Put it this way, I'm going to clip this now. The Browns will be in the quarterback market next year's draft, and Kevin Stefanski won't be. If they are in the quarterback market next year, Kevin Stefanski won't be the coach of the team.
And
it'll be a fresh voice.
This is his fault.
Yeah,
this is going to be his fault, because if he just went along with the plan with not making his football first, then hey, back to the ghetto you go.
And to be quite honest, there's a reason why they made that trade with Jacksonville as well, which
you get draft capital.
For next year.
Yeah,
it's gonna put them in a position.
I'm actually not mad at that move. Like, Travis Hunter was not going to put them over the hump this year. Like, Travis Hunter
ain't putting the Jaguars over the hump.
We could get, that's a whole other topic we could get to. But yeah, I'm not mad at that trade they made.
I'm mad at that trade because of hindsight now, because you could have just got Shador in the third.
No, I'm not. No, we're talking about
no, I'm talking about trading back.
Trading Travis Hunter.
But you could have got Travis Hunter and Shador on your team, and you ain't had to give up nothing.
But here's my thing: you didn't give up nothing to get Mason Graham or to get Shador. But my point is, you put yourself in a position to get a better quarterback possibly next year with 2 first rounders. if I was Jacksonville, I wouldn't have made that trade. But when Cleveland, like if I'm Cleveland, I'm accepting. Like, hey, we're not hanging up the phone before we send this to the league office. Because hey, you sure?
Yeah. No, if I'm Jacksonville, I make this trade. I make that trade. If I'm Jacksonville, I'm not mad at the trade. You know, if I'm Cleveland, I do not make that trade, bro. Like I draft Travis Hunter, I draft Quinyon Judkins, I draft Dylan Sampson later on, I draft Shador. What are we talking about here? Like, and then we talking about a direction of a team. Bro, Shador fits the Stefanski system seamlessly. You get all
getting the 5th overall pick, an extra 2nd round pick, a 4th and a future 1st. I'm taking
Sign me up. Sign me up.
Every single time.
Sign me up.
You also know why? It's the same thing. You know, like we always talk about that with these chess pieces. These coaches don't be knowing what to do with them anyway. Ain't like I think the Browns was gonna know what to do with Travis Hunter. That's even fine. If you get Shador.
If we keep it strictly football, I will say Browns had a bigger need in the interior than they did at cornerback. Like I still look at Travis Hunter as a cornerback. I'm not looking at him as a wide receiver. I look at him as a cornerback that happens to play wide receiver also.
Mm-hmm.
And the Browns, if you're looking at it from a strictly football defensive side of the football, they did have a bigger need at the interior than they did at the cornerback position.
That's fine. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have moved off Travis Hunter if that was me. I'd have got Travis Hunter. And I'm using hindsight because you could have paired them up with Shador, and we talking about changing the Cleveland culture. All right, that's just how I feel.
But counterpoint. Some people considered Mason Graham one of the can't miss prospects in this draft. So you saying pair Travis Hunter up with Shador, 2 what ifs? Why not pair Mason Graham up with Myles Garrett?
That's all right.
So it's like, to me, that's what pair him up with Myles Garrett, and then you get another 2nd round pick in this year's draft, and you get Jacksonville's future 1st. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, sign me the hell
if Cleveland plays the right, which they won't because they're the Browns, they could get their quarterback of the future and another edge rusher next year's draft.
Remember when they got we ran out of time, but remember they got those 2 1st round picks. They got Johnny Manziel and Justin Gilbert.
Exactly.
The Browns go Browns, man.
Exactly. Now giving y'all multiple picks to do this again. No, get it right the first time so we can go. Bro.
They don't get it right the first time. If you don't get it right the first time, at least try and get it right the second time. At least give yourself more opportunities to get it right.
Like I said, I'm done with Cleveland. Like I said, the number one question is: did Kevin Stefanski have job security? No. And if
he's done after this year.
Okay.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Of course, it'll play out, but
we'll see.
Dylan Gabriel will have to be playing lights out football by the end of the season for Kevin Stefanski to come back next year. It's not even Joe Flacco; it's Dylan Gabriel because he was a 3rd round pick. I'm not.
Dylan Gabriel will have to play like Nathan Peterman.
Exactly, like Dylan Gabriel will have a lights out season for Kevin Stefanski to be the quarterback next year.
I don't even think it matters, bro, because he got all the draft capital to get the quarterback next year.
And they gonna mess around and try and get a power staff. They gonna bring Belichick back for another go round. have Mike McDonald or Mike McDaniels as the offensive coordinator.
You know, Nick Saban want to get back into coaching.
Lord, hey, we are moving on to the Cincinnati Bengals, and oh man, and I'm definitely setting the timer for the Cincinnati Bengals because oh man, the offseason that they've had, I'll set it up. You know, Jamar Chase got his money, made sure that he got his money, got big money. T. Higgins got signed, and we said that was one of the things that going in the offseason that it looked a little rocky. It was like, what is the direction that the Bengals are going to do? And they locked up the offense, you know, and made some things happen. Now Trey Hendrickson is still not signed. They're trying to work out some things. He requested the trade, and you know they're trying to listen to trade offers. They're putting out the little, asking prices are a little too high. But as far as the Bengals go, AJ, the floor is yours because it is your team.
All right. I think the Cincinnati Bengals, they're going to be a tough team. They're still going to have like they're a flawed team. But outside of what maybe 2-3 teams, every team is flawed. Every team has, some flaws where you can look at it and say that's going to be the reason why this team is not going to succeed. So I'm not like internally and like to you, I'll vent because I was like, hey, I want my team to be able to be perfect because I want to be able to see my team to compete. And when I mean compete, try and get a Super Bowl. I don't have one, so I want one. I'm trying to see what that be like. So, but as far as just as roster construction goes, it's like, bro, this is the NFL. All teams are flawed. Like I said, it's only a couple teams that I feel like, hey, this is like this is y'all moment. This is when y'all supposed to do this. Like, I want my team to make these moves because to me, it seems like it makes sense. But I know who they are, dog. I know who they are.
I'm sorry, bro. I can't let you just get that off, bro. That every other team is flawed. Yes, every other team is flawed at certain spots, and there's certain spots that they can say, "Hey, man, we can be better at. We need to get better at, bro." This defense, come on, bro. This defense, we seen the preseason game last night.
But here's my thing.
One of the worst.
Listen to me. The defense is going to be a problem, but it ain't for a lack of trying. We've talked on numerous episodes before that they did what we thought you should do. When your offense is about to be expensive, you go heavy draft on your defense. They just missed.
Absolutely.
If some of these players hit, they could have been what the Eagles were. They could have, like, if you hit on a DJ Turner and a Dax Hill, that could have been your Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. If you hit on a Miles Murphy and a Joseph Asai or something like that, that could have been your pass rushers. But it just didn't work. And then last year, we talk about how bad the defense was, and the defense was historically bad. But a lot of people gloss over the fact that your two best cornerbacks were hurt. DJ Turner, when he actually started getting in the game and playing well, that's when he ended up going out for the season. Dax Hill was the best cover corner that we had, tore his ACL. So we out there running with Jalen Davis. I'm sure you don't know who that is. Mike Hilton. Mike Hilton was a great run stopper, but you know what he ain't?
A cover
corner. And you know what Lou had him doing? Not just covering. Hey, cover that 6'5" tight end going up the seam.
Yeah, getting blazed.
No, it's not going to work. And unfortunately, Trey Hendrickson is amazing pass rusher. Not the best run stopper. Sam Hubbard, they were using as, that's your run stopping defensive end and your cleanup sack guy. Well, he was playing like he shouldn't have made a 53. But you weren't giving Miles Murphy those chances. He wasn't giving Joseph Osai those chances. And the reason why, I'm not saying that it was all Lou's fault, but I would rather at least like when it's already going bad, I would at least rather try and bank on some of the peaks and valleys of an inexperienced player versus the below average stability of a veteran who is obviously aging, who's obviously slowed, and who obviously lost it. We brought in Sheldon Rankins. He didn't play the last 10 games.
Yep.
So it's like, the defense was terrible, but it wasn't like, everything was just like in order and it just was terrible. And then to be quite honest, even with that defense, we still could have been an 11-win team if Evan McPherson just makes 2 field goals. If Tanner Hudson doesn't fumble at the 1-yard line against New England, we win that game and it don't even matter. The first game of the season.
I mean, that's the reason why y'all playing in the preseason now. We try to start off better than what you've been starting off from the Zach Taylor era. But at the end of the day, I get it. The process. I'm a process guy, so I respect the process. And sometimes you just miss. But at the end of the day, you didn't even attempt to try to. You didn't try to attempt to try to fix nothing this year either, though. All you just named was players that didn't get an opportunity now that they didn't get an opportunity. Could that work? Could it? Yeah, it could work. It could be. It could be better, or it could be absolutely worse. We don't know. But the fact that you didn't even try, just the fact that you went out there and just say, "Hey, man, look, man, we signed Chase and T. What's up?" That's it. I'm not about to. I can't just allow an elite quarterback contending a team that was a contending team just say, "Hey man, we flawed, bro, and everybody else is flawed." No, that sounds good on the surface. Some of these other teams' flaws is way less flawed than y'all.
Okay, so what? So how come as a contending team, we allowed to watch the Buffalo Bills? Oh, this is just a retooling year. They're gonna try and get some things straight. Try and go with some certain guys. And guess what? They fucked around and still won. Yes, it was like we talked about in their preview. It's because their division is a lot easier. But again, like I said, they retooled and stuff went their way. Again, like I said, if you just make 2 field goals or tuck the ball with the 5 points of pressure, the Bengals are in the playoffs anyway. So again, yes, you may seem like, oh, stuff didn't work, but again, their process has always been draft and develop. Mm-hmm. Always been that, especially once they start paying people. And so that's been their thing. They started drafting people. So again, yes, if I was the owner and I was, someone that was doing it, I would do it. But I know what this is. And again, they're not the only team that do it. It's just they the only team that get killed for it. The Packers be doing it. The Steelers be doing that we gonna get to.
I mean,
Trey Henderson and Cam Hayward in the same position. But ain't nobody killing the Steelers for how they treating Cam Hayward. And they drafted Cam Hayward.
All right, before we get to the Steelers, we gotta let Marcus give his piece about the Bengals.
I just had to set the table.
We gonna eat.
As an avid Bengal hater, I will say, and I think we talked about this in a group chat the other day, I can't be but so mad at the Bengals. They did what we asked them to do and what we would have killed them for if they didn't do.
I'm sorry. Let me just make one more point.
Go ahead.
Ever since we had Jesse Bates and DJ Reader, oh, you ain't gonna be able to pay everybody. You ain't gonna be able to pay Jesse Bates. You ain't gonna be able to pay DJ Reader. You ain't gonna be able to pay T. You can't keep them all. Okay, cool. So we let Jesse walk. We let DJ Reader walk. When it comes to time, the Bills do pay Joe Burrow, pay T. Higgins, pay Jamar Chase. Oh, why y'all can't pay Why y'all can't pay Trey Higgins? Well, you don't do that. You've been telling us we can't pay everybody. So now when we pay the people that we're supposed to pay, and then now one person ain't getting paid, who he even came out himself and said the salary is right, the years is right. I just want more guaranteed. We getting killed because he want to get traded. Like, hey, dog, this is a negotiation. Yeah, everybody been telling us we can't do this, and now we actually trying to make it work. I'm sorry.
So yeah, I can't fault the Bengals. So I'm gonna put all my AFC North bias aside. If they didn't re-sign T, we've been killing them. Other teams could have got away with that. The Bengals couldn't, and they found a way to re-sign T. And we talked about it back then. Like, T's contract ain't the best contract, but he signed it, so oh well. Like, he got signed, and so we knew there was going to be an odd man out because Jamar Chase was going to set the market with his contract. That was a no-brainer. You don't have to think about that one too hard. So who's the odd man out? Yeah, Trey led the league in sacks last year, but Trey's also a 30-year-old edge rusher. Of course, he's going to be the odd man out. Now, if I could critique the Bengals, this was coming up. Trey should have been moved last year. Now, I get they were trying to make a run for it, and Joe probably played his best football I've ever seen him play last year. So maybe they thought, hey, we can squeak into the playoffs, and then once we get into the playoffs, anything can happen. But to be honest, if this was going to be the end result to where we are now, Trey should have been traded last year. Now, at the time of the year where teams already have drafted their players, they've already allocated a lot of cap space, I think the Bengals was like saying, hey, you can seek a trade, but this is our price. Knowing it's probably not going to be that many teams that's going to be willing to meet that price. And if they do, oh well. But if not, we still got you under contract. So they're in a position of leverage where they do have all the leverage. And I kind of always trying to kind of side with the players. But from the Bengals standpoint, I get this. Like, we did what we need to do. Trey's under contract. We don't want to trade you, but we're going to respect your wishes and at least field offers, but this is our price. And if they don't meet our price, then we're not going to give you away for peanuts. So I'm just, what do you want the Bengals to do? Like, they drafted a young edge rusher who I have high hopes for. They have high hopes for to hopefully replace Trey, not this year, maybe next year. But other than that, what could the Bengals have done realistically different this year? Now, like I said, you can draft players all you want to, but people miss on draft picks all the time. I can name a whole shitload of draft picks we missed on. So I just, from a realistic, being fair, unbiased, take the Bengals' reputation out of it. What could they have done different this offseason that they didn't do?
They finally brought in Dalton Reisner in for a workout. They definitely could have had him in. I'm not even going to get him on for Brandon Sheriff because he retired. So I'm not going to criticize them for that. Will Hernandez went back to his old team. So like I said, if they don't sign Dalton Reisner, then they are that's a failure in itself. Not getting the trade deal done, that's a failure in itself. It's another cornerback.
But Trey signed that contract though. They
exactly,
went
and that's my question.
Trey signed that contract.
Does Trey not bear any responsibility in this?
Yes.
So why is it always, the Bengals didn't get Trey contract done? Like they doing something wrong to Trey. Bro, you signed the contract. And again, like I said, we've seen numerous players bet on themselves. You didn't have if long-term security was something that you wanted coming off that 8-sack season, why not bet on yourself so you only got to be there for the rest of the duration of your contract? Bet on yourself, because guess what? You could have been coming off of 2 17.5-sack seasons and been on the free market and they couldn't do nothing. But all they could have done was tag you. Yes, they could have tagged you, but now they don't even have to worry about that because you on a below market contract because you didn't bet on yourself. And I understand that, hey, that's just a part of the game. But you can't now in turn say, I deserve this, I deserve that. Yes, you can say that, but as you're under contract, don't just say like they're doing you wrong. Because again, you agree on the length of time that they trying to give you and the salary. This is negotiation. They could easily hold on. They could easily say, dog, you under contract. You can either sit or nothing, and we don't got to talk to you.
But are we trying to win or not?
Yes. And guess what? He's under contract.
Are we trying to win or not?
Yes. So that's why you're negotiating.
Okay. Expedite this negotiation, bro.
It takes two.
He been trying to talk. Don't act like he ain't been trying to talk. You've been sending the clips, bro.
If he just came out and say, the salary is great, the years is great. This okay, but it's like, hey, dog, you do know you still we own your rights. He gonna sit the whole year?
That's a possibility.
Okay, but then you can't get that money back.
He's not sitting. He's 30 years old.
So again,
he's not sitting.
You can't miss money you don't have, bro.
Yes, the fuck you can.
I don't have it. You know what? I miss $1 million right now. I don't have it.
You do have it because that's what you're contracted for, and they're going to take it from you. That's like saying, bro, you're a salaried employee. You under salary. And you say, I'm not going to work. I'll just take the fine. Yeah. So that $100,000 that's in your salary that you're supposed to get per year, each day you miss, bro, they're taking $1,000 away from you. That's not saying, yes, it may not be in your bank, but that is your salary. You don't get that back. Even if you sign a contract, you lose that $100,000. So even if you sign another contract, that's a year that you missed. You don't get that money back. That's not how it works.
To answer your question, Marcus, what could have done better? They could have structured Chase contract better. They could have structured T. Higgins money better to free up money to utilize this money elsewhere. Maybe they would have had the money to get the guaranteed money that they want to use. I think the way they
structured T. Higgins contract favored them, though. The Bengals
it
won
doesn't
that
favor the team.
Negotiation.
No, it doesn't. Jamar Chase's contract, but
yeah.
So hear me out.
We out of time. Go ahead.
Yeah, I knew this was gonna happen.
My bad. my last point is for Joe Burrow, they broke their contract structure. For Jamar Chase, they broke their contract structure. They did not break their contract structure for T. Higgins. They're not going to break their contract structure for Trey Hendrickson, unfortunately. So again, when you look at the list of richest owners and poorest owners, the Bengals are 32. So with Joe Burrow's guarantees in escrow, with Jamar Chase guarantees in escrow, with T. Higgins guarantees in escrow, hey, Trey, guess what? It's tough titty, dog.
Which is true.
Last
I gotta put this, because as soon as you sign that contract, I gotta put this guaranteed money in escrow. So guess what? When the pecking order of who was most important came out, it was Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and you know who was last? Trey.
And I'll make this
That's
point
who's last to get their deal done.
Troy Aikman said this last night, and it's not a shot. I promise you, it's not a shot. Trey don't fix that defense that we saw last night. Like, you can get Trey all that guaranteed money you want right now. There's more holes in that defense than the edge rusher. The Bengals are not an edge rusher away.
And Hill, I know you're gonna hate this. I think the Logan Wilson fall off is coming, yo.
Hell no. Hell no.
That's his man. That's his man.
Low Jack Low.
I think the Logan Wilson fall off is coming, dog. I'm scared. I hate to say it, but I think it's coming.
That's his man.
He know he ain't got no more time. I think the Bengals defense would be better. I think the Bengals would be better on defense this year. Maybe Lou Anarumo ran his course there. Good defensive coordinator, but probably tune him out. With some of the things that he was doing, he tuned himself out. Like you say, he was being stubborn in some of the things that he was doing. So, like you said, sometimes a defensive coordinator runs his course. And
he was still playing Sam Hubbard and Von Bell.
And just remember that point I just said, because it's going to come up later on the test. So we can move on.
I can name another one, but go ahead.
We can move on. We can move on to the Steelers. And like I said, Steelers had an amazing offseason per se. Like you said, some of the things on paper that you probably wanted the Steelers to do, they executed. Some things that, you know what I'm saying, if they could have done differently, it's fine. But at the end of the day, they had a good offseason. They had a good draft. And we can move on. I'm going to give the floor to our Steelers fan here, and he can go ahead and continue.
I think I like what the Steelers are doing. I like the direction. I kind of see what we're trying to do. And Tomlin's he's putting his eggs in the basket, and we also kind of set ourselves up for next year also. So it's kind of like I like where the direction and kind of like the safety net for next year also. I love the draft picks. I think the most underrated draft pick we have is Yaya Black. I think our biggest hole last year, besides quarterback, the obvious position was the defensive line and the run game and run stopping. Like, you can't give up 300 damn yards on rushing to Derrick Henry in the playoffs and expect to beat anybody. And the part of that wasn't just defense. I think the part of that was the offense was so bad last year, inconsistent, that the defense was just gassed by the time it got to the playoffs. Our defense is not that bad. Our run defense is not that bad. If you look at the run defense's yards per average, if you go the first 10 games a year and then you look at the last 5, it's night and day. And I just think the defense just ran out of gas by the playoffs. And so a lot of people think, oh, Aaron is not going to be the same MVP, Aaron. We do not need Aaron to be MVP, Aaron. We just need competent quarterback play. We need to get more than one first down in a drive. We need to score on an opening drive. We haven't scored. We went, I think, 8-10 straight games the whole season where we didn't score a touchdown on the opening drive last year. Like, we just need competent, move the chain, smart decision, take care of the ball, lean on the run game, and let the receivers get open and just know how to read the defense and call out the blitzes. We just need competent offense. I think the offense is going to be a lot better this year than a lot of people give them the credit for. I think people look at the dysfunction of the Jets and say, oh, that's going to be just like the Jets. I can totally disagree. I think a huge move is moving Broderick Jones back from the right side to the left side, his natural position. Like, if you look at the camp reports for the last 2 weeks, he's been playing a lot better. If you look at the last preseason game, he played a lot better. I think we got probably one of the best young centers in the AFC North with Zach Frazier. I think our offensive line is going to be our most improved unit, and which I'm great because they're being slept on. I think a lot of talking heads love to say, oh, the Steelers offensive line is bad. They just haven't been paying attention. It's easy, low-hanging fruit. But I just think I'm not saying predicting that we're going to win the AFC North. I still think that runs through the Ravens. a lot of time, I think, but just like every other season, we split with the Ravens, we split with the Bengals. Nobody gets swept in the AFC North besides the Browns. Like it's always going to be a game that we win that we shouldn't win, and a game we should lose that we shouldn't lose. But we're going to be right there in the conversation. And my expectations personally is a wild card berth, get at least one playoff win. We can see what happens after that. But I'm not going to go out of the limb and be unrealistic. Oh, we're going to go to the Super Bowl. I think we still a few pieces away. It won't happen this year. But overall, I think we're going to be a better team than any other talking head pundits give us credit for.
I got a question, bro.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm going first before AJ, because I don't want it to come across as hate, because he is a Bengals fan. I have no ill will towards y'all. So these are just legitimate questions. When I say that, I'm getting it out the way. You literally just said all y'all need is competent quarterback. Y'all said this last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what makes you think that this is going to be different?
Because Russell Wilson didn't give us competent quarterback. Russell Wilson was great for the moon balls, and it looked good when he was throwing them 40-yard bombs to George Pickens last year. Great. It was looking good. If you go back and really watch the games, Russell Wilson refused to throw the ball across the middle of the field.
Correct.
Russell Wilson refused. Like it was either slants or go balls. Our whole offense, if you watched the Steelers last year, our whole offense was slants and go balls. Like we had no play action game. Russell did play action was not his strong suit. And
what routes do you think Aaron Rodgers loves to throw most?
You said what?
What routes will Aaron Rodgers throw that you didn't have?
I would think probably cover some of the same, the slants, go routes, probably deep ends. Like he does good deep ends, deep outs. Like he still can throw the deep out. Like Aaron Rodgers, if you watch, like again, I'm not saying y'all have watched Kate. He can still throw the football. Now, is he still a statue back there? Absolutely. Like he's not running. Go ahead.
No. Him throwing the football is not the issue. The issue I have with the same issue that y'all had with Russell Wilson. Didn't he have an issue with Arthur Smith about the offense?
Yeah.
So what gives you any? We've seen Aaron Rodgers have issues with his offensive coordinator about running the offense. We've seen him.
Mike LaFleur.
He only wants to run the offense that he's comfortable with. He's shown.
I can only report back to you what reports I'm seeing, and the reports I'm seeing. And we always gonna have our opinion of Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, unfortunately, good, bad, or indifferent. People are going to view Aaron Rodgers from their Aaron Rodgers lens. Either you like Aaron Rodgers because he's a good quarterback, or you hate him for off the field stuff. That's neither here nor there. The reports that are coming out of Steelers camp is him and Arthur Smith have a great relationship, and he's been more susceptible to the changes and what Arthur Smith wants to do as an offensive coordinator more so than he has in the past. All we can take is the reports.
We heard that in New York too.
Not even New York.
No, we didn't.
New York, he had his man. He had
to start the season. That was his man's.
But that
was his man's. He brought in his man. He made him
hire his man so he could run his offense. That's not the same.
Now listen. Once again, he won an MVP running Matt LaFleur's offense. Mm-hmm. And what did he do his last year? Reverted back to, I'm going to do what Aaron Rodgers wants to do for no reason. He's seen it work.
The premise of your argument is based upon what he did. Like, he's just going to be who he was from the past. Like, no new year matters. It just he's Aaron Rodgers from the Green Bay. He's Aaron Rodgers from New York. Like I'm asking if that's what you're going to, there's no point of us talking about this. Then if your mind is made up that Aaron Rodgers from the last year in Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers the first year in New York before the injury is going to be the Aaron Rodgers every year is no. Then what are we talking about?
Well, what gives you hope that it's going to be different?
I can only go by all the series report. I literally watch training camp coverage every single day. I can only go by what I'm seeing and what I'm getting reported.
And my whole thing about that is, bro, like he was not receptive to Matt LaFleur's changes at first. He was reluctant to do those at first. And then he ended up winning an MVP running that offense, and he was still reverted back by saying, no, I don't want to do that no more. Now we're talking about an older Aaron Rodgers coming off an Achilles injury. You mean to tell me that he's going to run that Arthur Smith offense? You mean to tell me somebody? See, I get it. It sounded good when he had when he had the issues with Russell Wilson, because people were like, man, it's Russell Wilson, man. You know, it is what it is. We're gonna give everybody else the benefit of the doubt other than Russell Wilson. So you mean to tell me that of course, somebody that had an issue with all his coaches that he's been coached by. He had an issue with Mike McCarthy. He had an issue with Mike LaFleur. He had an issue in New York. You mean all of a sudden that Arthur Smith just going to be different?
Again,
because who is Arthur Smith?
Your mind is pre-made up.
I said I was done.
Questions.
Your eyes pre-made up.
So I said I was done.
Huh?
I mean, I pretty much said I was done. I mean, once you said that, like, it's nothing really much more for me to say. But at the end of the day, the same things that y'all been doing is pretty much the same thing
and
now.
That's pretty much the being a reader. Either you're in the Aaron Rodgers camp or you're not. People have their mind made about Aaron Rodgers. It don't matter. They could have go out there and say Aaron Rodgers is a Jehovah's Witness now, perfect angel doing everything. People have their mind made about Aaron Rodgers, and good, bad, and indifferent. We knew that when we took him on. You personally, because you have a long history. You don't like Aaron Rodgers, and let's get it. It's very validated. It's not something I'm just making you a hater. But most people and most pundits have their mind about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers could go right there in camp and do everything perfect, and you still gonna have your mind made up. It didn't work at Green Bay. It didn't work. It didn't work his last year in Green Bay. It didn't work in New York. He's not gonna be any better than what that is, and that's fine. That's cool. I'm just telling you, based upon what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, it's night and day. Now the games gotta get played, and we're gonna see. And there's gonna be a lot of people. It's gonna be one side of the camp that's gonna be extremely right. And it's going to be a whole lot of backtracking on the other side. Somebody's going to backtrack and somebody's going to be right. We're going to see where everybody, where all the cards fall. Is that fair?
So you feel last year y'all team was a quarterback away, and
no,
Aaron Rodgers.
We still need some pieces. We needed. I told you, besides quarterback, our biggest hole was the defensive line. I think we addressed that beautifully this past draft. I couldn't ask for a better draft when it comes to the D-line. Our D-line was not going to allow us to beat the teams that we need to beat to be successful and get to where we ultimately wanted to go, especially in our division where everybody got pretty good, decent running games. Our defensive line was probably the weak link of our defense last year. So and the receiver.
So with how messed up you think Russell Wilson was in that offense versus what Aaron Rodgers is going to be, you think that's only worth just a wild card win and like possibly getting a wild card in the win?
I say right now, my just personal belief, I think we could go higher, but I won't be like, oh, we're gonna go to the Super Bowl. I'm not one of those fans. I'm very realistic. I look at the AFC as a whole and the teams that I feel are in front of us, who I think are way better rosters. Like I think Baltimore is a better roster. I think Buffalo is a better roster. I think I think people jump on Denver too much, but I think the Chargers are going to be better than what they normally are. So I just think
why don't you think Denver's a better roster than y'all?
No. I'm not saying. I just think people are overhyping Denver. I think Denver's a good roster. I just think people are overhyping Denver. I think people like Sean Payton and they like Bo Nix, and I think Bo Nix is great. I just think people are the way that's a sexy pick right now is that Denver's going to be the best team in that division. The Denver still got to beat the Chiefs. And so, to me, that division runs through the Chiefs regardless. So that's a whole nother. I'm not saying Denver's bad. I just think the division
run through the Ravens.
We talk about the AFC North right now. I'm just saying. My only point was I think Denver's overhyped right now. I'm not saying Denver's going to be bad, but they're overhyped right now. You might be high on Denver. That's great, but I'm not high. I'm not that high on Denver.
I just want to take it back while we still here. I just want to say that the same thing that happened last year. Like I said, the defense was balling last year, and then once the offense just got his offensive woes, the defense got tired, wore down, and it just wasn't the same. I mean, I love it. I don't love it, but I like I do love the draft that you did. I do like the offseason that you had going to get Slade, to go with Joey Porter Jr., going to the 1-to-1 trade for traded Minka for Jalen Ramsey. We'll see how that works out. But I do the fact that Terrell Austin has been there, and once you've been there for so long, you either have to make drastic personnel changes or you're going to have to make scheme changes. And we know most of the time that most tenured coordinators don't really make scheme changes. They have to make personnel changes. I feel y'all made the personnel changes that to give this defense, the necessary oomph or the sustainability to be the Steelers defense. I'm cool with the defense. I just have absolutely no faith in the offense.
And that's It's
That's
not
just my opinion, bro.
Yeah, there's nothing the Steelers could have did. Let's be frank. Besides drafting a high end, there's nothing we could have did to change your opinion of the offense this year anyway. Like if we want to be real honest, there's nothing we could have did to change your opinion of the offense. Because it's a wait and see because we didn't show you anything last year. So what have we given you to say, oh, we're going to be a better offense this year? This is one of those things that's one of the arguments I was never going to win, so I wasn't going to fight it. That's going to be one of the things you just have to see it. Then we're like, okay, we can re-talk about it once we see it. There was nothing we could have did this offseason that would change your opinion of the offense.
Well,
I'll be real honest about it.
And I want y'all to draft Shador.
No, here's what I say. Here's what I feel would have actually given me more faith. And to you, it may sound crazy because of the level of quarterbacks they were. To me, if you're going to trade for DK, why not trade for Geno? I think Geno Smith runs that Arthur Smith offense way better than what Aaron Rodgers will. You talk about throwing over the middle. Geno Smith will throw over the middle. Geno Smith will throw all those routes. Geno Smith will run that play action like Arthur Smith wants it.
I'm not in those. They said, I guess they're saying the price tag for what it would cost to trade for Geno and pay him was more than what we could afford with all the other contracts that we had to pay out. That's on what I read. Now, I don't know if it's bullshit. I don't know if it's coach talk, if it's GM talk.
Didn't you give DK Metcalf the contract that Geno got basically?
No.
First of all, you gotta go back. If you read the reports that came on there, George Pickens was gone, and I tipped my hat. Y'all said it. Y'all called it. I said we weren't gonna trade George. George was gone regardless, so they had to get a replacement. Mike Tomlin had a man crush on DK since DK's rookie year, and so they were all. Everybody was on the board that they wanted to go get DK Metcalf, so they were going to pay him whatever his agent wanted, what the market told him that he was worth. And so DK was automatically, that was who they want. That was their number one targeted receiver. Out of all the potential trade targets and free agent wide receivers, DK was number one top on their list. And George Pickens was gone. It was one of the worst kept secrets. I'm mad I missed it. They were going to trade George Pickens regardless. George Pickens actually asked for a trade. They just didn't publicize it because they didn't want to make him look like a problem child and drive his trade price down. So they said, if you keep it quiet, we'll find you a trade partner. But they were going to trade George regardless. So I get it. If we didn't pay DK, we could have paid Geno. We won't going to be able to pay DK and Geno and TJ and pay all our rookies that we just drafted. And we're going to get in the end of the day, Cam's going to get his money. I'm reading the reports. Cam practiced today in full pads. That lets me know that Cam's going to get his money. We just probably play a little hardball with him. Mm-hmm. But the Geno trade wouldn't have worked with the DK trade. I get it. I would have loved to have Geno Smith as my quarterback. We talked about this offline. It just wasn't in the books.
Well, and the only reason why I say that also is because to me, getting the quarterback is a lot more important. So if you trade, like, it's plenty of people that we thought like you can bring in and do these things. Like,
but I'll also give you this: the Steelers, everything that the Steelers done is all season, and then the trades and the commissary picks they have, and all the thirds and stuff they have, everything is built for next year's quarterback draft. Regardless of who we picked up this year, it was going to be a bridge quarterback. Everything that we doing is gearing towards next year's quarterback, next year's draft for the quarterback. So if we say, okay, we're going to definitely draft a rookie as potentially, and we tried with Kenny Pickett, it didn't work, but you don't stop trying because it don't work. If we're saying that we're going to definitely get our future quarterback, or try to anyway, in the 2026 draft, what better 1 year bridge quarterback who's making only $13 million and could have got more and said he didn't want more than Aaron Rodgers? Like, let's be real. Like, from a salary standpoint and where we got and who he is compared to the other quarterbacks and what they're making, tell me what's wrong with that move. Besides the fact that you just don't like Aaron Rodgers.
Who was he going to get more from? Because everybody moved on from him.
Aaron could have easily got more than $13 million. $13 million is less than some backups are making. Yeah.
From y'all.
I can't control other teams. We only paying Aaron Rodgers $13 million.
Aaron Rodgers wanted to go to the Vikings. And they said no.
He also wanted to go to New York as well. And they said no. They went and got Russell Wilson and Jameis.
New York wasn't second on his list.
They was on his list.
It was on his list, but they want second. They want second on his list.
It was only the Steelers. That's another reason why Hill was saying, why y'all letting him play y'all like this? Y'all his only option.
Did y'all? Okay, y'all, again, this is Aaron Rodgers. Did y'all watch the podcast? It was always the Steelers. We just kept it. If you go back and watch it, he spoke about this. I can only go by the man's words. Y'all might not believe him. He spoke about this. And if you go and watch the Pivot podcast with Ryan Clark, he spoke. It was always a Steelers. It was always a gentleman's agreement. Mike Tomlin knew he was coming. He wanted to see if they could keep that secret. And that until he do his personal stuff, I don't know who he married. That's it. I don't care about that. But he was always coming. And for us to give him $13 million, I don't give a damn. Our whole scheme was to get a bridge quarterback for this year and draft give ourselves the best chance to win this year and put ourselves in a position to draft a high-end quarterback next year. And at $13 million, I'm not complaining.
I just want to make sure y'all see this.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Shouts out to like God dang.
Like it's at the end of this year, there's gonna be a two sides. A side that says, "Damn, maybe we were just being so blinded or whatever," or "Damn, either we was wrong." It's gonna be a side that said we was completely wrong, and it's gonna be a side that says, "Damn, we told y'all." Like, because you split, and a lot of the Aaron
Or it
Rodgers
could just be 9-7, and we'd be like, "Damn, we was all kind of just a little bit off a little bit."
And that could be it too. It's the good, the bad, in the middle. So that could be it too. I think we're not going to be as bad as everybody thinks we are. We're not going to be as good as that most people think the Steelers fan base think we are. But we're probably going to end up somewhere in the middle. But we're not going to be as bad as everybody think we are.
No, I have y'all doing the exact same thing that y'all did last year. Okay. And that's the same thing y'all been complaining about every year, every offseason.
So again, besides what could we have done? Like realistically, what could we have done this offseason offensively that would have put us better in position than we were last year or like this year?
I already said.
So Shedeur Sanders makes us a better team offensively than Aaron Rodgers this year.
I believe so.
Okay, that's your opinion. I don't think so, but that's your opinion. And 32 other teams didn't think so. And I wanted Shedeur. I was pissed when we passed on him in the third round, but that's where we are.
Teams be wrong before. I mean,
all the time.
Yeah, especially because we talk about money. If money was the factor, that's money been your main factor. You didn't have the money to do things. You draft Shedeur, you can keep George Pickens.
But my thing is, Coach, we going for it this year. We wanted to experience.
That's not going for it.
I'm not going for it. How are y'all going for it this year?
Defensively, no.
Hey,
no. I stopped myself. Defensively, you are going for it. The move that you made for is going for it. Getting to Aaron Rodgers is the best bridge that you could have did. This is a going forward move. These are going forward.
We just might not go as far as y'all think we're going to go, but we're going forward.
Yeah. So that's the thing. That's the statement that I wanted to make right there. So I wanted to catch myself. I wanted to catch myself. Like I said, that's AJ.
Why y'all not paying Cam Hayward?
You didn't hear nothing I just said 10 minutes ago. Cam
I'm just joking, man.
He has a contract, brother. He should have bet on himself.
He damn sure should have bet on himself.
We about to move to the Ravens show.
It's cool when they do it. It's cool when I do it.
Oh man,
it's the same as not the same exact. Well, I guess it's the same exact situation.
It's pretty damn close.
It's damn close, right? Yeah, they both signed the contract they shouldn't have signed.
The Baltimore Ravens are up right now, and they are a team that actually went for it. No, I'm just. I was joking on that aspect, but I mean, at the end of the day, what can you really say? I do like the offseason that they had again. I was a little confused about going to get DeAndre Hopkins, but I mean, hey, it is what it is. But you go get a Cheeto Awuzie, to be a cornerback depth. You trade for, they went and got Jair Alexander as well.
He was a free agent. He got released.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, so you go get him. You retain. You bring back Ronnie Stanley, Patrick Richard. I like that. You bring back Jarius Washington, but he got injured, right?
Jarius Washington, I think so.
Let me check. Yep.
I think so. Yeah, but so that's.
I don't think his season ended though. I don't think.
Okay, but at the end of the day, you really didn't lose anybody. That was significance. I did like the draft. You get Malachi Starks. You put him in that secondary with Kyle Hamilton. Man, you get a Mike Green, and they finally get if he is who we think he is as a pass rusher. They finally get a pass rusher that they haven't had since Terrell Suggs. Man, it's like I like everything that they did, man. It's one of those. It's one of those. You just got to just keep doing your job, and you keep doing your job, and eventually the ball will bounce your way. That's the only thing that I can particularly say about the Ravens. I have nothing negative to say about them.
My only critique is real short. Wake me up when they make the AFC Championship game, because the Ravens on paper every year we crown them, and rightfully so. They have the if I had to be honest and took a lie detector test, from top to bottom, they have the best roster in the NFL, in my opinion. I think they have the best roster with limited holes. There's always little kinks in the chain, but as far as like holes in the roster, I don't think the Ravens really have any. And every year they build this hype train, and they're going to be Super Bowl contender. Lamar Jackson's the runaway MVP. They got Derrick Henry running like Derrick Henry from the Tennessee Titan days, and they got this crazy defense. And in the playoffs, they can beat us because they're supposed to beat us. But then when they get to another team, they look like they ain't practiced all year. Like, wake me up in my opinion, just wake me up when the Ravens make the AFC North, make the AFC Conference Championship game.
And then, but at the same time, though, it ain't like they just getting whooped. They just losing.
But I think it's the way they lose. Like, they make really critical, boneheaded errors that cost them the game, or some fumble, or some drops and stuff. It's not like, I would say the last 2 times that they lost in the playoffs, they didn't lose to the better team. They just made more mistakes than the other team made. They were the better team on the field. They just, for some reason, the coaching doesn't carry over into the playoffs.
That is true.
And
to me, to be quite honest, I think their focus, like you said, is getting the highest seed as possible. Just that, to me, the Ravens, they're competing for the number 1 seed. I'll basically echo everything that I said about the Buffalo Bills. This year is about getting that number 1 seed and getting that home road to the Super Bowl. Your goal is to get into that, like you said, the AFC Championship game, and put yourself in a position to get to it. And I always joke, and when it comes to the top quarterback rankings, because people be killing my guy, but like you said, it's not like they're out there getting upset. They're not getting beat in the first round by the Browns, or they're not getting beat in the first round, by the Jaguars or the Titans or something. They're losing to Super Bowl contenders. They're losing to the Bills. We felt the Bills were a Super Bowl caliber team. They're losing to the Chiefs. We all know who the Chiefs were. They lost to the Bengals, but that was with Snoop Huntley at quarterback. So it's like it's not like they're coming up against teams that we feel that, oh, that's an easy W. So I can't truly kill them for saying, oh, y'all, like, you're just failing in the playoffs. No, you haven't got over the hump. It's just like Steve Young. Like Steve Young just needed to get over that hump. Get the monkey off his back. The Bills just need to get over that hump. The Ravens just need to get over that hump. And unfortunately, you are in a division where it's a whole bunch of humps.
A whole bunch of humps. Let me ask you this. Take away the quarterbacks. Which one of those teams are better than the Ravens personnel-wise? Chiefs not.
Well, can I make a little caveat into the personnel-wise? Because Andy Reid is also one of the best offensive minds we've had in this game ever. So again, even when they're offensively not as stacked as some of these other teams, that scheme, that's tough.
Now, part two of that question I just asked is, for all the comments, and I'm not take up for Mike Tomlin, for the Mike Tomlin.
I've been waiting for this. Let's go.
Never losing record, and the standard is the standard, and but he was. When do we stop giving the pass to John Harbaugh?
You don't give him a pass.
When has he ever had a bad roster? When has he ever?
When he almost got fired.
When
he almost got fired.
Well, the year after Joe Flacco, was that the year?
They brought in Lamar.
Yeah, for the most of his career, though, he's had a really good, high caliber offense. A high caliber roster for most of his career. Like Ozzy, the GM, they probably had one of the best underrated GMs of all time in Baltimore. Like, we give John Harbaugh all the passes that we don't give none of the other coaches do. I'm just wondering why.
He don't get a
Well,
pass.
the reason he to me, he doesn't get a pass. And I think one of the things that the reason why I think that you might take it a little offensive because you like, what has John Harbaugh done that Mike Tomlin hasn't? But in these last couple years that you saying, oh, you know what, like, you know, he hasn't gotten it done. But again, like I said, these last few years, they've been in contention. They've gotten number 1 seeds. They've made it to divisional rounds and lost and stuff like that. But like I said, it's not like they're losing to inferior teams. You may be losing to the best quarterback in the NFL who goes on to win the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? And then you might not like
it. Pushback on that is the last 3 years he's had the best quarterback in the NFL.
Here's my question though: at all the criticism that Mike Tomlin be getting, at the end of the day, you always say, "Don't fire him," right?
Oh yeah, I don't think they should fire John Harbaugh. I just wonder why he doesn't get the heat that Mike Tomlin get. I'm not saying fire John Harbaugh. Absolutely not. And
that's all I'm saying. I'm like, hey, criticize him. Hey, look, you
I don't want to fire him. I'm not that stupid now. Let's not be hasty. I want the same love. I want the same treatment that Mike Tomlin get for John Harbaugh.
And that's fine. Like you said,
he's lost to the better team and better quarterbacks. If you want to be honest, I think he's had the best quarterback in the NFL at least last 3 years.
Figure it out. Same. I mean, it's the same. Him and Sean McDermott. Figure it out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, both of those coaches that I just named was on the hot seat. They would have been fired. Somebody that's also, like you say, a lot of, and on top of that, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna keep it a buck. He makes better decisions than Tomlin when it comes to his personnel and it comes to his coaching staff. When does he miss one from a coordinator? And he's had a plethora. He's had plenty. And when it was time to get rid of his coordinators, he ain't just hold on to him because, oh man, that was my man. He moved on from him and upgraded. When it comes to,
I'll give him the defensive coordinator hired the black dude they just hired. I don't know his name. Don't get me wrong. What's the defensive coordinator for Baltimore?
I forgot. He was a young dude.
Yeah, dude. I like him. I like the way but Greg Roman was brought in specifically because of Lamar Jackson. Because if they don't draft Lamar Jackson, they don't bring Greg Roman.
No. Listen.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're breaking up. But listen to me. They brought in Greg Roman. Greg Roman was already on the staff. You breaking up, bro. I don't know what you're doing.
You frozen, bro.
Yeah. But listen. You get back together now. But you was frozen for a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, you get lost.
This is my thing. You brought up Greg Roman. Greg Roman was on staff. He was already the running game coordinator at that point when Lamar was there. He became the offensive coordinator. Now, when that offense became stagnant and everybody was like, bro, this offense is stagnant, what did he do? Got rid of Greg Roman and did what? Got an offensive coordinator. When the defense was good under Wink Martindale, what did he say? He said, you know what? We can do better. Or we can be different. He gets rid of Wink Martindale and go get another coordinator, and that coordinator got a job.
Oh, before we get too far, I'm not going to take for Tomlin. Tomlin, my biggest complaint for him, I think he's too loyal to a fault, and we hold on to coordinators we held on to Matt Canada way longer. Matt Canada should have been a 1-year trial run.
That's exactly what Hill's saying. That's what Hill's saying.
I'm agreeing with him.
So my whole thing is when y'all sitting there and y'all making this case for him having y'all want the same criticism, and y'all know us. Hey, nobody's exempt for criticism, each equal opportunity criticism. But at the same time, now when you break it down, he's making better decisions when it comes to his personnel. It's
not a group. He's making better personnel decisions.
I got to
coaching decisions.
Yeah, I have a serious question, and again, don't take it as a troll, but when it comes to the criticism and why it may not be fair, we talk about how Harbaugh has been still consistent in their winnings, and they've been seen as a better team overall. But also when it comes to coaching, do you think that some of the Mike Tomlin criticism comes from a lot of people thinking that Mike Tomlin won that Super Bowl with all the Bill Cowher's players.
Because Mike Tomlin makes the playoffs and wins with teams that other coaches would have been 0-16 with. Like I don't like the cake for Mike Tomlin, but Mike Tomlin went to the playoffs with Duck Hodges as a starting quarterback for half the year. Mike Tomlin went to the playoffs with Mason Rudolph. Mike Tomlin went to the playoffs with not Landry Jones here, but so we've had rosters that should have been 0-16 or 3 or whatever. We've had 3-win rosters that Mike Tomlin went to the playoffs with. So I'm going to give him his respect at that point. Is Mike Tomlin can do more with less than other coaches can do in this league. Now it's easy to make the playoffs and be good when you got, and it's a team effort. So it goes to GM and draft picks. The Ravens have had stacked rosters since Ozzie Newsome was the GM there. So it ain't too many years the Ravens didn't have a good roster. And that's credit to them and their front office. But I'm not going to say it's easy to win, but Mike Tomlin ain't had too many rosters like some of the Ravens roster he had. And so it's different.
Whoa.
Yeah, I can't continue to let you get that out.
Let's not forget, like, Mike Tomlin wasn't there for the Ben Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell days.
And then we had the worst, and we had the equivalent to the Bengals defense in 2025. We had a horrible defense that year. That's why we didn't win.
Isn't Mike Tomlin a defensive coach?
Again, personnel. We didn't have the personnel. You can coach air.
No.
Go ahead.
Some of those teams that he's won that they overachieved with wasn't really bad teams. Like you said, y'all had some injury luck that y'all had to deal with sometimes, and like you said, he overcame a lot of those issues. Like you said, Mike Tomlin is a great coach, but we're not about to sit here and make it seem like y'all was 0-16 bad. Like y'all wasn't that damn bad. The quarterback play might have been that bad, and like I said, the Ravens might have been having a better roster. But let's not put a little too much salt. Put some salt on.
Wait. Let me just kind of.
Mike Tomlin deserves the Hall of Fame for the Duck Hodges year alone.
Right. But let me actually. So one of my points was when the Ravens get into the playoffs, it's almost as if like when they lose, it's to a team where it's like, okay, like I take it like I just had to look it up because I couldn't remember what year it was. 2017, 13-3, and you lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I'm not saying that this Jaguars team was, a terrible team, but they were 10-6. Y'all were the number 1 seed. Y'all not supposed to lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That by far is Mike Tomlin's work. I'm not going to cape. They weren't as bad as people. They weren't the bad. They were a good Jaguars team, but that was Mike Tomlin's worst loss as a coach. That was his worst loss as a coach.
But I think it was the 20. This team wasn't. I can't remember the year it was. It was the year.
So the Baker Mayfield Browns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another time. Like, why y'all losing that game? You losing to the Browns in the playoffs? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. But at the same time, who
that's all.
That was Ben's last year. That was Pouncey. That was
y'all could have been moved on from Ben.
No, Ben played that year. We should have moved on from Ben, but Ben played that year.
That's my point. But that goes to personnel, like.
But that goes on. That was, in fairness, how many teams just you let your Hall of Fame quarterback leave on his down? Not too many teams are cutting or releasing their Hall of Fame quarterback. Like, let's be honest. Ben stayed 3 years too long, but most teams, if you have a Hall of Fame quarterback, they're leaving their own merit. A lot of teams had quarterbacks that stayed too long and played to the end. Brett Favre left on his own terms. Who else played bad? Donovan McNabb left on his own terms, and he got to the risk. My thing is, he's not a Hall of Fame quarterback. Most teams that have a Hall of Fame quarterback that they drafted, and he's a one jersey quarterback, kind of like how Kobe's last year. You're gonna let your Hall of Fame guy who gave you everything to the organization, no matter how bad he is, you're gonna let him leave on his own terms. And that it was amazing that we was even in the playoffs that year.
We getting up out of here, but what was the question? The question was, why doesn't Jim Harbaugh get the same criticism?
Yeah, we're going Jim Harbaugh.
That was the original question, and that's how we went on a whole nother tangent. So I think, well, when we get up here, before we move on, because we do have a good question by Jay Sizzle. The Ravens, I understand. You just got to stay the course. That's all I'm gonna just say. You doing everything right. You're building the team the right way. You're making acquisitions the right way. You're drafting the right way. You got an elite quarterback. You got one of them ones. you just have to just hope that the ball bounces your way. I'm sorry. It's nothing different that you can do. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You gotta hope you get Joe Flacco to Jacoby Jones down the sideline. Instead of Mark Andrews, fumbling, or Mark Andrews dropping it at the goal line, you just gotta reel it in. You just gotta reel it in. That's all you can hope for.
How many years you give Matt LaFleur then? Love 6 years. Well, this is only his second year as a starter.
True starter.
As a true starter, so he definitely get at least, he gets 4. Just that's off how we do quarterbacks. Like that's like they get a 4-year minimum, right?
I didn't think that. I don't think Matt LaFleur was even close to a hot seat.
And he's not close to the hot seat now because he's one of the ones. Like you said, he's one of those ones.
Right, and that's what I was about to say. I don't think he's really close, especially with the addition of bringing in Jeff Hafley, and it kind of turned that defense up. So if Jordan Love wasn't hurt at the beginning of the season last year, their season might look different.
And what he did with Malik Willis is
that's grounds to give him another contract.
Man, what?
that's the Kyle Shanahan, because people like, I think we were starting to kind of ask about Kyle Shanahan, but when you can kind of do some of these things with less, like a Malik Willis and stuff like that, you will get a little bit of, because that's proving that, hey, we have something in you, but we just got to get, like he'll say, we just got to get lucky. We got to get lucky that we get the right bounce. Like how unlucky is it that, bro, you in a division with the goddamn Lions, who are a Super Bowl contender, and out of nowhere, the Vikings win 14 games?
Yeah, like come on, bro. With Sam Darnold at the quarterback, like, bro, there's certain things, like you say, if you go through the process right, the offseason, if you build the team right properly, then like you said, you gotta hope for. Now you got to get luck on your side, like, bro. Everybody had the Lions crown last year. How many injuries did they go through last year? Like, what did they do wrong last year in the offseason? You feel what I'm saying? They built the contending team.
And it's crazy that people still look at them like, oh, y'all got beat. Yes, Jared Goff, he and Ben Johnson, they kind of screwed the pooch a little bit. That's a crazy saying when you actually think about it. But they messed up because in the playoffs. But just to think about where they came from, bro, Aiden Hutchinson was going to be hands down the defensive player of the year. Snapped his leg. That's your best. That might be your best player on either side of the ball. Then the rest of the defense got hurt.
Like everybody got.
I think at one point in time they had like 18 players on IR at one point in time. Like that's crazy.
I think 15 of them was defense.
That's crazy.
So like I said, the moral of the story is sometimes you just get unlucky, bro. You know what I'm saying? Think about how many times you think about the Rams, bro. The Rams went for it. The Rams went for it before they went for it.
Yeah.
Bro, think just when we talk about getting lucky, the Rams shouldn't have been in the Super Bowl. Jaquiski Tartt had a game-sealing interception in his hands, and it bounces off his face mask. It changes the whole trajectory of history.
Yes.
So you just got to think about certain stuff like that. We could think about stuff all the time. The tuck rule, just all the bro. The Rams was in the Super. The Rams Super Bowl. The Rams lost to the Patriots, and the Patriots scored 13 points.
Yeah. Stuff happens, man. I mean, I know.
Warner, bro. He was this far. If the Titans just could have got this much more, the Titans are Super Bowl champions. Steve McNair, bro. I just want to say, we about to get out of here.
Yes.
Okay. So I was listening to Bo Monty, and he made a great point how stuff like that changes the course of history. If the Titans win that Super Bowl, Kurt Warner is not a Hall of Famer. But then you flip it, and Steve McNair might be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I can see that.
But now they're just looked at completely different. Like people view Kurt Warner in completely different eyes, and it was literally that much.
But in fairness, Kurt did go back to another Super Bowl. He lost again, but he went back to another Super Bowl.
Right, but nobody remembers the loser for real.
Yeah, that's true.
That don't submit you in history.
That's true.
They was nah, Jay Sills, they was getting their ass whooped regardless that game.
Oh yeah,
that fumble won't go.
That fumble wouldn't help shit.
Cam was under duress.
Von Miller was whooping that ass all game,
bro.
Boy.
Hold on, wait. It was Mike Rimmers. He was cooking, bro. When if you see Von Miller, and they did the introductions, and Mike Rimmers is on that side too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's curtains.
I don't blame Cam because even if he jumped in that ball, they was losing that game.
It was over. It was over.
And him even being able to jump on it, it was so awkward. Like in the timing of it, if you actually watch, I don't even see how he could have actually jumped on it. It's a possibility, but that shit was tough.
Eventually messing up his shoulder anyway, so karma was eventually happening. I guess I don't know, but like this is different. Matty Ice would have been a Hall of Famer too if they'd win the Super Bowl. We've been looking at Matty Ice totally different. Now Matty Ice is trash. You know, hey man, but this is a good one.
We'd have got that if we didn't get that pass interference call. Joe Burrow would have.
I knew that was coming, man. You catch us on all major podcast platforms. 3Man Weave, Instagram, Twitter, 3Man Weave _. You can email us at podcast.3.man.weave@gmail.com. I'm Hill. That's AJ. That's Marcus. Some of y'all the fools, and some of y'all the fan five. And we out.
We got cheated.